9 o'clock on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. This is the Iroquois County Board meeting.
Alt, Barron, Benz, Bowers, Crow, Ducat, Geiger, Hughes, McGinnis, McTaggart, Awful, Schur, Watt, Whitlow, Williams, Zumwalt.
Okay, Ms. Awful.
Yes, good morning. Today, we have Country Remember, Bruce Howard, Assistant Park.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Let's pray together. Our gracious God, we're so thankful for the day. We're reminded that this is the day that you have made, and so we rejoice in it, and we'll be glad in it. I thank you that I can come now before you on behalf of this county's board. I thank you for the men and women who are here, for their service, both to you and to the community. God, we pray that you would show your grace to us this morning. I pray that you would be with this board as they are about to meet. I pray that you would give them wisdom and insight and discernment. And Lord, that you would guide them, that their decisions would be in line with your word and your revealed will, and that it would be pleasing to you and helpful for those that they oversee. Lord, we thank you for this season. We thank you for the summertime. We thank you for the rain that we've received. We thank you for time with friends and family, and we anticipate the fall and all the blessings that come along with that. And Father, I pray as this board is about to meet that you would once again give them, guide their discussions, guide their deliberations. Lord, help them to do what's pleasing in your sight. And God, I pray for each man and woman on this board that they would personally know you through faith in Christ and the joy that it is to have forgiveness of sins and reconciliation with you and life eternal. And we ask it in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody, we have a copy of the agenda in front of them, and we have a motion to approve that. Mr. Williams, second by Mr. McTaggart, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Payroll. Motion to approve the payroll. Mr. Zumwalt, second by Mr. McTaggart. Are there any questions or comments on the payroll? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Barron,
Yes.
Benz,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Crow, Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes, McGinnis,
Yes.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful, Schur,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, do we have any public comments this morning? Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone.
Oh, okay. Outstanding, outstanding.
We need a motion to approve the minutes for the July meeting. Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Waffle. Were there any comments or questions regarding our minutes? Other than that, everybody say aye, that approves.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Now we'll go to public comments.
I don't think I need any introductions, but I'm Roger Bard. And I've got a few comments to make on the Grant Street Drainage Project. I saw that this was on the agenda, I guess about 3 months ago, and I wondered what it was, so I found out. And we are now going to work with the city to drain from the railroad down to Grand Street and on down farther south. Well, about 3 years ago, Mayor Allhands voiced his concern that there was a lot of water standing there, And back then I said there was two questions that begged to be answered. Number one, why would swampland be developed? And number two, why would you build or buy a house on that swampland? Well, the answer to number one was that a good old fellow by the name of S.L. Martin owned it. Samuel Loveridge Martin, the magic name in Watseka. Number two, you have to ask the person that built or bought. Well, fast forward to the present, he has said that I understand that he has offered for the city of Watseka to pay for half of the cost of putting the drainage in, the entire drainage. Now, maybe he feels privileged or because he's the mayor, I don't know. But supposedly he has his house up for sale. So it'd be nice if that was drained around there. Did we ever have any other person from that area come and say, oh, I need to have this water drained from my backyard? No. No. It was just the mayor. Now I see that the motion has been made and it will come up to the board this morning to let bids out for this project. Isn't it interesting that the mayor has not even brought this to the council yet? You are voting on letting bids on something that the council has not even voted on yet. Is that the way to do business? Is it the county's way to do business to have a city have to pay more money than they are already paying? Our water bills went up 10% about 3 months ago. We have a gas tax. I got my cell phone bill yesterday. The city puts a tax on that cell phone. We have tax on electricity. The county, I feel, has no right to make us be paying more money because the mayor has said, oh, we'll go in halves with you. And it hasn't even been put up to the city council for a vote. You cannot vote to start asking for bids for something that a governing body has not already okayed. That is not the way business is done in government. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments this morning? Now we'll forego chairman comments and move on to the outside organization report.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the Iroquois County Board, and guests. I'm Angel Crawford, the Executive Director with the Iroquois Economic Development Association. One of the first things I want to talk about is something that I recently learned about, but I'd heard about it before, but I did a little bit of research, and it's called the Employee Retention Credit. And businesses throughout Iroquois County can take advantage of this program. It actually, you will actually get credit, 50% of the qualifying wages paid up to $10,000 in total. And this is wages paid after March 12, 2020 and before January 1st, 2021. The deadline to claim this is 2020 tax period. It would be April 15th next year, and 2021 would be April 15th in 2025. This is a real way for businesses to be able to recoup some losses, and if you need more information, you can contact our office. Here's some great news. Watseka Ford Lincoln is making a substantial investment by expanding their facility and creating new jobs here in Iroquois County. Did you know Watsika Ford Lincoln currently employs 47 full-time employees and 4 part-time employees? Also, they have excellent benefits and provide training for their employees too. This expansion will allow hiring of additional employees that will include service writers, entry-level technicians, and numerous other jobs, and will include adding 10 functional service bays, 7 new vehicle lifts, a new tire balancer, and a new tire machine to allow for more work, more customers, and more employees. If you know someone that is interested in applying, feel free to stop by their office or leave a message at 432-7040. And are you ready for some more good news? In April, we announced IDA reached out to over 65 businesses and organizations in Iroquois County to assist them in applying for the Back to Business grant. Last week, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity announced awards for 11 businesses in Iroquois County that applied for the B2B bars, restaurants, and hotel grants. And here are the businesses that received awards. Sister Park Restaurant, $15,000. The Depot in Crescent City, $10,000. Casadora's Tacos in Anarga got $30,000. Steak and Shake franchise here in Watsika got $50,000. La Posina in Watsika got $15,000. Crossroads Cantina in Gilman got $20,000. Greg's Place in Milford, $25,000. Iroquois Cafe in Iroquois, $15,000. Super 8 Hotel in Watsika, $11,583.26. Motel 6 in Gilman received $36,582.36. Super 8 Hotel in Gilman received $46,164.59. The grand total of these awards is $274,330.21. Since the announcement last week, we've reached out to every one of these businesses to tell them congratulations and let them know we can assist, IDA can assist them with portal administration to receive their awards. These businesses have been in business before COVID and are still going strong. Each of these business owners that I spoke to are very thankful to have IDA helping them and excited about using their awards to help their business. The great news is there's still awards coming up. And this will be for the B2B creative art applicants. So stay tuned for more exciting announcements. Are there any questions? Thank you. And if you need more information on the topics I've discussed, please call our office at 432-0072. Thank you.
Are there any other outside organization reports? Now we'll move on to the committee report. Before I begin the policy and procedure report, last month we approved Mia McCammon as our new supervisor of assessments, and I'd like to introduce it to you here this morning. Mia, would you come up, please? I know some of you have already met her, but she's been on the job for a week now and getting pretty well situated from what I can tell. So, Mia, do you have anything you want to say?
I guess I just want to say that I'm truly honored for the opportunity to serve the town of Watsika, the county of Watsika, the county of Iroquois County. It has been a pleasure already being here in Watsika and getting to know a lot of the faces here in town, and I'm sure I'll get to know all of you a lot more. My goal for the office is to be as transparent as possible. So, once I get all my ducks in a row to get the information, get a CAMA system so that all the information in my office is available online for everybody to be able to see. And if there's any questions, call the office and we'll be happy to help you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving along with policy and procedure. Members of the county board, your committee to whom is referred policy and procedure would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 27, 2023 at 9 a.m. Members present were Scher, Barons, Alt, Awful, and Whitlow. Paul Duquette and Michael McTaggart were absent. Also present, Finance Manager Joe Johnson, County Clerk Brian Suver, and ICPHD Administrator Eric Stacy. The meeting was called to order, was moved by Whitlow and seconded by Awful to approve the agenda. The motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. ICPHD Administrator / EMA Director Eric Stacy gave his final report to the committee as EMA Director. Scott Anderson has been hired as Stacy's replacement effective August 1st. Mr. Anderson has experience with fire, EMS, and the media. Mr. Anderson's time will be split 3 days per week with EMA and 2 days per week with public health emergency preparedness. He will be very busy from the first few months, attending workshops, trainings, and meetings. Mr. Anderson will proceed with the hazard mitigation project. The emergency operations plan will be due within the next year or two. Stacy said he had a discussion with the Finance Committee about working towards 2 full-time staff in the EMA department. Lastly, County Board Chairman Scher noted a flood response plan for the county needs to be developed. Committee chairs gave their monthly reports. Management Chairman Barons reported the committee will receive their normal monthly report and receive updates on the morgue and fencing at the Animal Control Building. Health Chairman Awful reported the Health Committee will hear their standard reports. Judicial Chairman Whitlow reported the committee will hear their monthly reports. Whitlow also encouraged board members to read up on the Safety Act that will take effect September 18. Finance Chairman Barons reported the Finance Committee will continue with budget hearings. Also, the Finance meeting has been changed from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Highway Chairman Alt reported the Highway Committee will begin meeting on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Finance Manager Johnson reported the completion rate for sexual harassment is at 89%. The percentage has decreased due to new employee hires. The committee began review of the county code book. County Clerk Brian Suver noted there will be a cost for any changes the committee would like to make. Revisions are as follows. Page 1. Update the publications data once all revisions have been finalized. Page 3. Update the list of board members. Administrative Section 2-1, use of county jail by municipalities. Strike the wording shall be kept or housed and replace with may be kept or housed. Section 2-5 through Section 2-9, fee schedules will need to be added in these sections. Section 2-10 and Section 2-11, smoking in the courthouse and smoking in the administrative center is prohibited, but has an exception for smoking in private offices. Change will be prohibit smoking in both buildings and reference state law. Section 2-14, depositories. The list of financial institution needs updated. Section 2-32, size of the county board. Size of the county board needs updated from 20 members to 16 members. Section 2-33, number of districts and representation thereof, update to read 4 county board members elected from each district. Section 2-35, standing boards and committees. Finance Committee and IT Committee and its duties. Policy and Procedure Committee, item C, regarding the maintenance and upgrading of data processing functions should be moved to the Finance IT Committee. Item 1, change ESDA to EMA. Remove item J, number 10, in regards to considering appointment of a personnel purchasing director. Item J, number 11, regarding management labor negotiations. A new item will be needed to be created to reflect the negotiations committee. Management Committee, remove item C due to the Finance Committee overseeing insurance information. Item D, to be amended to include other county farm properties. Judicial and Public Safety Committee, remove the reference to the purchasing ordinance from item B. Tax Committee, I amend item D to read, consider matters relating to the conduct of elections in the county. Combined Planning and Zoning Committee with Tax Committee. Health Service Committee, item E, oversee the county's recycling operation and landfill solid waste disposal. Move to Finance Committee as this is now a Finance Committee function. Planning and Zoning Committee, combined committee with Tax Committee, strike County Regional Planning Commission from item B. Other items to be changed include creating a negotiations committee. Each committee meets monthly and each committee reviews and approves claims. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. The property tax bill for the animal control was given to the committee for their review. Prior to payment, Chair would like to verify the tax bill is correct and proper credit was given at the time of closing. It was moved by Barron's and seconded by Alpha to take the necessary steps to pay the property tax bill for the animal control building. A roll call vote was taken, that motion carried. There were no claims submitted for approval. There was no old business.
Ain't that the truth?
Are you done?
That was
It was in the hallway.
It was in the hall.
No, it's back there. During new business, Silver informed the committee that Shagbark has submitted and paid for their application for the sale of liquor before noon on Sunday. This will be on the county board agenda for Tuesday, August 8th for approval. Also during new business, I'll question the status of applicants for the county engineer position. One resume has been received. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Barron's and seconded by Alpha to adjourn at 10:32 a.m. The motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, signed by all members present. I move for the adoption of the report. Second by Mr. Williams.
On the last page, where the each committee reviews and approves claims, so they recommend approval of claims.
Say that again, please.
On the line where it says each committee reviews and approves claims, the committees actually recommend approval of claims by the county board.
Okay. What don't you understand about it?
Well, he just wants to clarify the wording.
The wording, because the committees, I understand, they recommend approval of the claims.
Okay. We can make that correction.
Just
I think
semantics
that's,
in a sense. Motion approved as amended.
okay. Anyone else have any questions or comments about the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Benz,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Crowe, Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful, Sure,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt, and Barron's.
Okay, in the policy and procedure report, a reference to hiring of Mr. Anderson as our new EMA director. He's with us this morning. I'd like to introduce him to the board. Mr. Anderson, would come forward, please. He's also been on the job for about a week now, and I believe he received his baptism over the weekend with the rain that occurred and second into the county, so he's off and running.
Or swimming.
Do you have anything you want to say to the board?
Appreciate the opportunity. I'm humbled by the decision that you guys have made. I'm looking forward to, no pun intended, getting my feet wet and getting going. I'm glad that you guys have put your faith in me with my experience and my background and what I feel I can do for the county and the county residents. I'm looking forward to the challenges that are going to be approached with, and I don't think I'll have a problem.
Okay,
So,
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we'll go on with negotiations committee. Members of the county board, your committee to whom have referred negotiations would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 25, 2023 at 1:07 p.m. Members present were Scher, Ducat, Alt, Bowers, and Geiger. Also present, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, County Engineer Greg Perkinson, County Clerk Brian Silver, County Board Labor Legal Representative Dave Hibbins by Zoom, excuse me, AFSCME members, and AFSCME Legal Representative Natalie Nagel. The meeting was called to order. The committee met to discuss ongoing negotiation activities. The meeting adjourned at 2:29 p.m., all of which is respectfully submitted for your information only. We'll move on to the Management Committee report with Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board, your committee, whom was referred management services, beg leave to submit the following report on matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 31, 2023 at 9:05 a.m. Members present were Behrens, Bowers, Bentz, and Zumwalt. Donna Crowe was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake, County Board members Charlie Alt and Doug Geiger, ETS Director Eric Raymond, and Roland King. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Bowers, second by Bentz to approve the agenda. Motion carried by voice vote. There were no public comments. Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake reported include the following. Fire alarm systems have been inspected and recertified at the Administrative Center and Jail. Metro Power performed their maintenance inspection on all 3 generators. The State Fire Marshal was on site to recertify and inspect the boilers at the jail and courthouse. Boilers at the Administrative Center will be certified and inspected in a few weeks. Carbon monoxide detectors were purchased and need to be installed in the boiler room. Maintenance was done on the county work truck. Drake reported an issue on the rooftop ventilation unit at the jail. Drake continues to mow once a week at Animal Control Building. Backflow preventers need recertified. Drake will begin servicing all boilers within the next couple of months. Per their contract, the USDA office is due for carpet cleaning and their floors need buffed and waxed. Drake will arrange for other offices in the administrative building to have their carpets cleaned as well. Drake will be replacing the paper towel dispensers in the bathroom to help eliminate paper towel waste. John Zumwalt addressed the committee about the Grant Street project. Zumwalt stated he and the County Board Chairman John Scher attended the City Council Finance Committee on July 18th. Scher and Zumwalt explained the project to the City Council Finance Committee and requested they pay half of the cost. At the end of the City Council meeting, it was agreed that the costs associated with the project need to be figured out. Zumwalt also said the size of the tile had been reduced from 12 inches to 10 inches, which will decrease the cost. Zumwalt expressed his interest in putting the project out for bid. Scher said a rough estimate was received from Robinson Engineering of approximately $10 per foot. Zumwalt added the total footage is approximately 2,500 feet, with 1,500 feet around the maintenance shed and 900 feet on Grant Street. There has been some concern from residents on Porter Avenue about whether or not it's going to impact the drainage system too heavily. It was moved by Zumwalt and seconded by Bowers to put the Grant Street project out for bid. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There were no updates on the county farm. Drake will be meeting with the contractor about fencing at Animal Control Building. Scher spoke with the surveyor about the possibility of having the morgue at the maintenance shed and surveying the area. Scher has not received the report back. Scher, Paul Dukoff, Coroner Bill Cheatham, and Sheriff Clint Perzee also looked at the Fastenal building that is for sale. The building is very large, in good condition, and has potential for additional space for vehicles. Other items to consider when purchasing another building is plowing another parking lot and additional maintenance work for Drake. Doug Geiger added that Iroquois Memorial Hospital would like the opportunity to work with the county in regards to the morgue. The hospital is planning to build where the old clinic was and could possibly plan for a space for the coroner. An approximate timeline for the new building is 1 year. The committee requested Scher set an appointment for another viewing of Fastenal building Continued conversations will be held with Iroquois Memorial Hospital. And sure will also follow up with plans at the maintenance shed. Barron's asked that any other options in regards to the placement of the morgue be brought to management committee next month. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Zumwalt and seconded by Benz to pay the claims. Subject to county board approval, a roll call vote was taken, motion carried. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Bowers and seconded by Benz to adjourn at 9:57 a.m. Motion carried, all of which is respectfully submitted and moved for its adoption.
Motion on the floor for the report of the management committee. Are there any questions or comments about the report? Mrs. Quarles?
On page 2 in the first paragraph, I move to remove for separate consideration, the line saying it was moved by Zumwalt and seconded by Bowers to put the Grant Street Drainage Project out for bid. Roll call vote was taken. I'd like to remove that for separate consideration and send it back to committee.
Second to the motion? I'll second. Okay.
What are we calling the roll on? Separate consideration, or to send it back to committee, or everything?
So consideration and send it back to committee. Right, that's.
Just so everybody knows exactly what they're voting on. You don't know? Okay. So instead of putting it out for bid, we're gonna send it back to the committee.
We ready?
Yes, mean what?
It goes back to committee.
Ready? Bowers,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
No.
Hughes,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure,
No.
Watts,
No.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
No.
Zumwalt,
No.
Alt, Barron,
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Eleven to 5.
Okay. Bowers? Yes, Cole, did you go to that?
No, I don't.
Where's the Ducat to Bowers?
What?
Paragraph 7 page, so you got Paul Ducat, went to the fast way, and he didn't involve that.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay, I will also tell you that we have an appointment at 11 o'clock this morning for all county board members to review the past and all this meeting adjourned with the head out there. Everybody, in case you don't know where the past and all building is, check with me and I'll give you the rest. Okay, are there any other questions or comments on the remainder of the report? Mr. Williams?
And the reduction in the size of the drainage from 10 to 12 is a great reduction in capacity. I hope that,
Going back to the committee.
it's a bigger change than you might realize.
Going back to the committee, so we
It's probably not a substantial change in cost.
Mr. Williams, going back to the committee.
Sir, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? And now the clerk will call the roll.
Crowe,
Yes.
Ducat,
Yes.
Geiger,
Yes.
Hughes, McGinnis,
Yeah.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Sure, Watts,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Zumwalt,
Yes.
Alt, Barron,
Yes.
Benz,
Yes.
and Bowers.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, our committee. Who's that?
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred ARPA would beg to please submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on July 31st, 2023 at 10:08 a.m. Members present were Ducat, Awful, and Sure. Donna Crowe was absent. Also present, Finance Committee Jill Johnson, ETS Director Eric Raymond, and County Board Member Doug Geiger. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by John Sure and seconded by Awful to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. The committee continued their review of the ARPA applications and selected the following applications to send denial letters to due to the limited funding. Number 136, Nichols Paint and Fab. Number 129, Sheldon United Methodist Church. Number 128, Stephen Holsapple, Susan Legan. Number 127, Danforth Reformed Church. Number 126, Perry Green Township. Number 125, Watsika Ford. Number 124, Martinton Fire Protection. Number 123, Village of Woodland. Number 122, Village of Buckley Sewer Plant. Number 121, Garage and Gilman. Number 115, St. Paul's Lutheran School. Number 114, Prairie View Lutheran Home. Number 112, First United Methodist Church of Watsika. Number 107, Iroquois Memorial Hospital. Number 106, same thing. Number 105, Crescent Iroquois EMS and Ambulance. Number 102, Woodland Fire Protection District. Number 100, Health Check Health Coaching Incorporated. Number 97, City of Watsika. Number 96, Village of Loda. Number 94, Village of Buckley. 93, Village of Buckley. 90, Village of Clifton. 89, Village of Clifton. 88, Betsy Gale Longest. Number 86, Douglas Township Park District. Number 85, Ashton Township, DBA Coliseum. Number 84, Ashton Township, DBA Coliseum. Number 83, Ashton Township, the Coliseum. Number 78, EMA. Number 77, Martinton Drainage District. Number 74, System Foods. Number 72, Village of Donovan. Number 71, Village of Donovan. Number 69, Village of Donovan. Number 67, Regina Worthy. Number 65, Village of Danforth. Number 59, Milford Township Park District. Number 57, Sonia Jean DeLong. Number 56, Amy Wilkin Daycare. Number 55, Gloria Taylor. Number 54, Joshua King Anderson. Number 53, Lethia Marie Hartman. Number 52, Daniel Fader and Josh Irvin. Number 51, Tanya Elitz. Number 48, Schomburg's Fine Trim. Number 46, Designer Homes, Goldquist Construction. Number 43, Voyle Construction and Dreams. Number 42, Kyle Voiles. Number 39, Wellington Greer Fire Protection District. Number 38, St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church. Number 32, Iroquois Mental Health Center. Number 31, Iroquois Mental Health Center. Number 13, Addiction Recovery Services. Number 12, Public Defender. Number 7, the Sheriff. Number 2, St. Mary's Cemetery Association. Finance Manager Jill Johnson drafted a letter to be mailed to the applicants thanking them for their applications. It was moved by Awful and seconded by Scher to send denial letters to applicants that have applied for ARPA funding. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. ARPA Chairman Paul Duquette noted the Bread Basket Food Pantry has closed. The ARPA Committee awarded the food pantry $2,359.92 for the purchase of 2 freezers. Duquette requested representative of the food pantry attend the next ARPA Committee meeting to provide information on the plans for the freezers and perhaps they'd be willing to donate the freezers to another food pantry. Scher continues to investigate options for the location of the morgue with hopes of a decision being made by the next management meeting. A resolution for hazard pay for Iroquois County employees was provided for the committee. Some employees have already received some sort of essential worker pay and may not be eligible for additional pay. It was moved by Scher to adopt the resolution authorizing expenditures from FY 2023 American Rescue Plan Fund to establish premium pay for Iroquois County employees with the amendment to exclude all department heads in paragraph E. Motion failed due to a lack of a second. Further discussion was held on how to determine payout of the hazard pay to employees. Johnson will compile a list of each employee who is eligible. The next ARPA committee will be held on September 5th at 10 a.m. There was no old business. There was no new business. There was also no further business to come before the committee, as was moved by Alt and seconded by Awful to adjourn at 11:25 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote, which is all respectfully submitted, and I ask for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of the ARPA Committee, second by Mr. Hughes. Any questions or comments on the report? Mr. Watt?
I'd like to move that our list of removal letters being sent, I'd like the number 7 sheriff to be removed if we vote on that separately. That be taken off the list.
Number 7?
Good.
Not,
Are you seconding the motion?
no, give me a second, I'm waiting on a question.
Is there a second to Mr. Watt's motion?
No, no.
Will you second the motion? If you vote yes, you're agreeing to remove that item from the lot, deny and put it back on the list. If you vote no, it's gonna stay as a letter.
What is this one?
This money for the officers, am I correct?
No.
No.
Application number 7 is the application the sheriff put in to install electric flush sensors in all toilets at the administration building, courthouse, and jail, and to install water fountains, including water bottle fillers, at the administrative building and courthouse. Also to install no-touch door foot poles on all bathroom doors at the administrative building, courthouse, and jail.
How much was it for?
It was requested at $24,924.
You had ARPA already given, sir.
Give me a second, and I will tell you.
Does everybody understand now what we're voting on?
Previously, Barb, the sheriff's department, received audio and video investigation room, was a part of the video court and telehealth. Also got the, looking at the list, was a part of the CAD JMS record and recording system, the full body x-ray scanner. And I believe that was it, just at a very quick glance.
Go ahead and explain to us again what we're voting on.
In the elevator.
We're voting on item number 7 for the sheriff, whether to send a letter of denial or whether to restore it to an active project for our consideration.
But the motion is to take them off the denial list.
Right. Vote yes, you're voting to take it off the denial list and restore it to an active consideration. Vote no, you're voting to leave it on. Everyone understand? Okay, call the roll, please.
Duca?
No.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
McGinnis?
No.
McTaggart?
No.
Awful? No. Sure?
No.
Watts?
Yes.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
No.
Alt? Barons?
No.
Fence?
No.
Bowers?
No.
And Grow.
No.
Motion failed, 5-11.
Okay. Regarding the rest of the report, then, are there any other questions? What?
The hazard pay issue for Iroquois County employees, I don't know what was wrong with the resolution that was made or the motion that was made, but I think that this issue is long overdue being addressed, and every month that passes, it sends exactly the wrong message to our people. There's a lot of talk about retaining people and low wages and whatnot, and I just hope that the committee next month can put something for the full board that we can vote on to address that hazard pay issue for our people.
Okay, your comments are noted. Any other questions? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes? McGinnis?
Yes.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Awful? Sure?
Yes.
Watts?
No.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Alt? Barons?
Yes.
Fence?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Grow?
Yes.
And Duca?
Yes.
Okay, health committee, Mrs. Goff.
All right, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the County Board. Your committee to whom was referred health would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on August 1st, 2023 at 9 a.m. Members present were Awful, Duquette, Geiger, Hughes, and Whitlow. Also present, County Board Chairman John Schur, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, ICPHD Administrator Eric Cece, Director of Environmental Health Kate Mueller, and Carl Gerdovich with WGFA Radio. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Doug Geiger and seconded by Steve Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Duquette and seconded by Jed Whitlow to pay the claims, subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There were no public comments. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reported the registration deposits for June was $2,495 and July was $3,930. There are 4 cases currently open with 1 dog and 7 cats waiting for placement. Vermilion County has reached out and was able to take 2 dogs last week to be adopted. The animal control officers closed 74 cases in June and July. The closed cases consisted of 20 dogs running loose, 3 stray cats, 12 bite reports, 12 abandoned non-claimed dogs, 1 euthanized dog, dogs where owners requested, 11 well checks, 1 cat was stuck in a vehicle engine, 1 bat tested negative for rabies, 2 aggressive dogs, 2 dogs versus livestock attacks, 2 dogs versus dog attacks, 5 dogs hit by cars, 2 passed away. 2 vehicle accidents and animals had to be picked up and 1 deceased owner with 2 cats. Both cats have already been adopted. Johnson explained Vermilion County is usually full and has been unable to help us in the past, but they received trust money to help Iroquois County place animals. There were no updates on the fencing for the animal control building. ICPHD Administrator Eric Cece distributed the monthly summary report of programs. Environmental Health reported 65 inspections and issued 26 temporary permits. These increases are due to the Iroquois County Fair. There was 1 food complaint, but it was unfounded. There were 4 unsatisfactory water samples and 10 permits issued for sealed wells. West Nile surveillance is still ongoing. There have been no positive samples in Iroquois County. Radon kits were given at the fair. It is unknown how many kits will be returned. Community health shows an increase due to the upcoming school year. There were 3 animal bites reported, 1 dog, 1 cat, 1 bat. CC explained the bat was not captured, so the individual did undergo treatment. There were 2 Lyme disease investigations with 1 confirmed case and 2 salmonella investigations with 1 positive case, but the source was unknown. 1 new case was reported in the tuberculosis program. Community outreach events included Narcan being given at the fair. The new state fiscal year began July 1st. Grant applications are slowly becoming available. The health department is working on their FY 2024 budget and will be voting on the budget on Monday. CC reported 2 recent resignations with the health department. These positions include the Director of Nursing and Association Sanitarian. Both positions have been posted. Lastly, CC's replacement, Scott Anderson, begins his employment at the EMA Director today. Director of Environmental Health, Kate Mueller, provided the committee with information on food permits as follows. Standard food permit. All permanent seasonal food establishments in Iroquois County, including food trucks. $450 initial fee, $100 first-time food permit fee, $350 plan submittal fee, and $300 annual renewal fee. All food permits expire December 31st each year. Temporary food permit, person entity that wants to serve food at a special event, fairs, festivals, fundraisers, etc. $25 for a 1 to 3 day event, $75 for event up to 14 days. Cottage food permit for those who want to sell food products from a home kitchen, typically baked goods and low-risk shelf-stable products. No fee for a cottage food. Farmers market permit for vendors selling meat or eggs at farmers markets or similar gatherings. Does not apply to whole produce vendors. $50 for the year, good for any farmers market within the county. There was no old business, there was no new business, as there was no further business to come before the committee. It was moved by Ducat and seconded by Hughes to adjourn at 9:26 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the report of health committee, seconded by Mr. Geiger. Are there any questions or comments on the report? Mrs. Crowe?
I have two questions. Page 1 in animal control, could we have some further information on trust money given to Vermillion County to help place Iroquois County animals? Where's that money come from?
You know, I'd have to get the details to you, Donna. I don't recall. I know the gentleman's name was Jim Forrest, but I don't remember the name of his trust.
What was his name?
Jim Forrest.
Jim Forrest.
Okay. And at the fair, when it says community outreach events included Narcan being given at the fair, were those Narcan kits or was that?
I believe it's the kids, correct?
Narcan kits, or was there more to your question?
Oh, I wanted to know if you were there to administer, if you needed to administer, or if that was a freebie handout.
We were given freebie handouts.
Okay, thanks.
But ready to administer if we needed to. We did not need to.
Are there any other questions or comments on the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful. Yes. Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Benz.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Ducat.
Yes.
And Geiger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, tax funding and zoning committee, Mr. Ducat.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to was reformed tax zoning would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on July 12, 2023 at 9:40 a.m. Members present were Ducat, Alfo, Geiger, and Hughes. Whitlow was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman Scher, County Clerk Rian Sewer, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Urgler, Treasurer Kurt Alberts, Scott Lipinski, and Caroline Henning of DevNet, and Lodo Township Assessor Jim Sherrill. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Alfo and seconded by Geiger to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Lodo Township Assessor Jim Sherrill discussed the process of computerizing, automating property tax records. Mr. Sherrill gave the committee a proposal to automate the entire county with the CAMA system a few months ago. There are many advantages to automating, such as all records being uniformly assessed. Mr. Sherrill said he has found properties that have not been assessed in 20 years or more. Supervisor Assessment Urgler added that all property cards are on paper, and if there is a disaster of any sort, all items will be damaged or destroyed. Vice President of Marketing for DevNet, Scott, gave a presentation to the committee. DevNet employs just over 60 employees with their headquarters being located in Sycamore, Illinois. DevNet has clients in 71 counties in Illinois, and 42 of the clients are utilizing the CAMA system. Mr. Lipinski discussed DevNet's business model, which included unlimited support and training. Employees have knowledge of state legislation and a strong relationship with the Illinois Department of Revenue. Appraisal application manager for DevNet, Caroline Henning, walked through the DevNet software and options available within the software. Conversion and implementation timeline would be approximately 12 to 16 weeks. Choosing to utilize the CAMA system takes a commitment and needs support by townships. There was no old business, there was no business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Hughes and seconded by Geiger to adjourn 11:17 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I ask for its adoption. Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to was referring tax zoning and begged to leave to submit the following report for the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on August 1st, 2023 at 9:34 a.m. Members present were Ducat, Alfo, Geiger, Hughes, and Whitlow. Also present, County Board Chairman Scher, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, County Clerk Brianne, Supervisor of Assessments Bob, Supervisor of Assessments Mia, Treasurer Kurt, Planning and Zoning Administrator Julie, and Carl with WGFA Radio. The meeting's called to order. I'm just trying to make it shorter, guys. It was moved by Awful and seconded by Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Awful and seconded by Doug Geiger to pay the claims, subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. There were no public comments. Department heads gave their monthly reports. County Clerk Brian Suver reported petition circulation will begin on September 5th for the 2024 primary election. Petitions that will be available in the county clerk's office include precinct committee in person, county board and county officer packets for circuit clerk, state's attorney, and coroner. Chief Deputy Recorder Cheryl Gillespie is retiring effective September 5th. Deputy Clerk Sarah Keister, is that right? Custer has accepted the position and has begun training for the position. Lastly, Suver informed the committee of an issue on the 2023 property tax bill. Suver explained 4 drainage districts that were set to expire. The mistake occurred during the extension process and the entire amount was extended for these 4 districts. A total of 1,792 parcels are affected, and these will need to be corrected. Once the certificate of error is done, a refund will be issued if the taxpayer paid both installments. If only one installment was paid, or if payment hasn't been made as of the effective date of the certificate of error, there will be a credit to the second installment or possibly the first installment based upon payment status. Corrected tax bills will be printed with a due date 30 days after the extension. A letter will accompany the tax bills and a press release will be going out to inform taxpayers of the mistake. The districts in question are Eastburn Drainage District Number 1 with 72 parcels in Sheldon Township, Eastburn Drainage District Number 3 with 29 parcels in Belmont and Sheldon Townships, Union Drainage District Number 3 of Danforth, and Ashland with 9 parcels in Danforth Township, Mud Creek Drainage District Special Assessment with 1,682 parcels, and Artesia, Ash Grove, Anarga, Pigeon Grove, and Fountain Creek Townships, and includes most of the village of Cissna Park. Trevor Cordalis reported property tax bills have been printed and mailed. Bailey Lambert has been hired as a new deputy clerk in the treasurer's office. Supervisor of Assessment Bob Euler introduced Mia McCammon to the committee as his replacement. Yergler met with McCammon last week to discuss priorities of the position. Yergler informed McCammon that the Supervisor Assessments Association is a great platform to use for help and support, and he is confident that she will pass her exam. Taxing Zoning Chairman Duquette and the committee thanked Yergler for his years of service with the county. McCammon thanked the committee for the opportunity to work with them, and she's excited to be in her new position. Planning and Zoning Administrator Julie Feller presented her monthly report to the committee as follows. Building permits July of 2023, agricultural 0, residential 17, wind tower 0. Building permits FY 2023, residential 83, agricultural 13, wind tower 0. Building inspections July 2023, 67. Zoning boards of appeals, none. Feller discussed instituting for building without a permit. An example of the $50 per day fine for moving in without an occupancy permit was distributed. Feller said she would like to use this example as a guideline. Duquette requested Feller gather more research and definitions for the matter and bring it before the committee next month. Feller also addressed language errors in the solar ordinance. On page 6, section D, utility agreement, the paragraph refers to a special use application. Feller said this application does not exist, but we do have a conditional use application. She recommended the language be changed to conditional use. It was moved by Geiger and seconded by Awful to substitute special use application with conditional use application in the wind and solar ordinances. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Lastly, Feller noted page 5, section 6, sitting approval application should read sitting approval process since no such application exists. Geiger recommended revisiting the ordinance and possibly creating a sitting approval application. There was no old business. During new business, Hughes informed the committee that the Anarga Theater is playing the movie Sound of Freedom tomorrow night. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Awful and seconded by Hughes to adjourn at 10:19 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, and I ask for its adoption.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the tax committee report.
I tried to make it short. She laughed at me.
Do we have any questions or comments on those reports?
I do. As far as the tax bills go, we don't have a date set for when they're gonna be mailed out yet, as DevNet is continuing to work on the, certificates of error. There are 65 parcels that they have to finish up, and they were hopefully gonna be done yesterday, but they didn't accomplish it. So hopefully they'll be done today, and we'll be able to get them mailed out by tomorrow. The due date for them will still be the August 18th due date or upon receipt. There's protocol that the treasurer's office has to follow when CMEs are done, and that's the protocol we are following. So I did want to make that correction. It's not 30 days from the date of the issue. It's August 18th or upon receipt.
So we need a motion to amend?
No. It will be in the first part of the minutes to correct that.
Any other questions or comments on the reports? Seeing none, we call the roll.
McGinnis?
Yes.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Awful? Yes. Sure?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Sorry. Scott, you said yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Alt? Barron?
Yes.
Benz?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Crowe? Who got a yes on it? Thank you. Ducat?
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes? Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda is item number 3 under the tax planning and zoning committee discussion and action on the liquor license for Shed Bar Coffee Company.
So Shad Bark applied for the sale of liquor before noon license that you guys approved, I believe, at the June meeting. It's $250 fee. That's basically all they had to do since they are a current liquor license holder. But that is what this license is for, is to update their license so they can sell liquor before noon as the ordinance was intended to change.
Need a motion to approve it?
Yes. Second by Mr. McTaggart. Any questions or comments on the matter? And then call it over.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Awful? Sure?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Alt? Barron?
Yes.
Benz?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Crowe?
Yes.
Ducat? Geiger?
Abstain.
Hughes? And McGinnis?
No.
Okay. Motion carried, 14-1.
Okay, Judicial and Public Proceedings Committee. Mr. Whitlow.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred Judicial and Public Safety would beg leave to submit the following report before the matters before them. Your committee met at the courthouse on August 2nd, 2023 at 3 p.m. Members present were Whitlow, Hughes, Bentz, Watts, and Williams. Also present, County Board Chairman John Schuer, Sheriff Clint Brzee, State's Attorney Jim Levine, and ETS Director Eric Raymond. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Raymond Williams and seconded by Steve Hughes to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Sheriff Clint Brzee presented his monthly report to the committee as follows. Correctional Officer Medina will attend Corrections Academy September 17th. Brzee is hiring part-time corrections officers to ease the burden of overtime. CPC tablet system will be replacing Secrets as inmate phone systems has been installed as of July 28th. Body scanner should be installed by the week of August 21st. Deputy Rickenberg is doing well at the academy
with the academic average of 93.2825%. He will graduate August 24th and will start the FTO program. Deputy Ravens has transitioned from FTO to being on his own and is working great. Deputy hiring in preparation for 2 leaving. Hired Scott Munich as a new court security officer. Munich retired from the Watseka Police Department. Brzee continues to look into radios for his department. He is researching Starcom versus digital. New CAD jail report writing system. 58 arrests, intakes in July, 41 male, 15 female, 2 juveniles. July jail population, daily population average 20. Average length of stay, 46.85 days. 19, 14 male, 4 female, 1 an ankle bracelet. July medical, 5 hospital/emergency room prompt care visits this month. 17 mental health visits, 22 nurse practitioner visits, 8 inmate medical and intake exams, 1 dentist visit, 3 IMH x-ray, 0 telehealth visits, 2 IMH Dr. Beck, 1 initiated on nifedramine. Jail overtime for July, 48.75 hours paid, 103.5 hours to comp. Part-time hours for July, 0. The probation and court services activity report for July was reviewed. State's Attorney Jim Devine reported that there were 10 cases today for grand jury, with 6 cases being drug-related. ETS Director Eric Raymond distributed his monthly report to the committee. The Next Generation 911 phone system was installed July 19th, was paid with grant funds. Raymond informed the committee of a fiber line cut in Papanow last week that caused the internet and phone systems to go out again. Raymond will be encouraging the Finance IT Committee again to move forward with making a decision on backup internet. Lastly, Raymond said ETSB is looking into a digital radio system. There was no old business, there was no new business. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Scott Watts and seconded by Williams to pay the judicial and public safety claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken, motion carried. As there were no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Watts and seconded by Williams to adjourn the meeting at 3:23 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All is respectfully submitted, signed by members present. I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the additional public safety committee report, seconded by Mr. Williams. Are there any questions or comments regarding the report? And none, the clerk will call the roll.
Awful? Yes. Sure?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Holt? Barron?
Yes.
Benz?
Yes.
Powers?
Yes.
Crowe? Yes. Ducat?
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes? McGinnis?
Yes.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, Finance IT Committee, Mr. McTaggart.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred Finance IT would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 25th, 9 a.m. Members present were McTaggart, Alt, Bowers, Geiger, McGinnis, Behrens, Watts, and Watts was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman Schur, Finance Manager Johnson, Planning and Zoning Administrator Feller, County Clerk Suver, ICPHD Administrator Stacy, Treasurer Albers, Maintenance Supervisor Drake, ETS Director Raymond, Superintendent of Veteran Assistance Ingram, and County Board Member Donna Crowe. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Geiger and seconded by McGinnis to approve the agenda. The motion carried by a voice vote.
There were no public comments. The committee members were provided with the fiscal year 24 budget hearing books. Finance Manager Jill Johnson stated the overall budget amount does not include the probation department at this time. Johnson also directed the committee to the salary amounts requested by each department. Planning and Zoning Administrator Feller presented her budget as follows. Salary increased from $45,000 to $47,000. Inspections increased from $20,000 to $21,000. Office expense increased from $500 to $800. Education and dues is budgeted at $500. Revenues for building and zoning fees is budgeted at $41,000, but could possibly be increased to $45,000. County Clerk Brianne Suver presented her budget as follows. Revenue corrections include county recorder real estate transfer tax should be $75,000 instead of $150,000. Also, election judge salary reimbursement includes an additional $20 salary reimbursement that the state has approved. Office expense decreased from $7,000 to $5,100. Election judge salaries increased from $29,000 to $61,500 due to 2 elections and the increase in judge salaries. Ballots and supplies increased from $57,000 to $105,000 due to licensing fees and a new agreement for the new election devices. Training increased from $3,000 to $6,000 due to the elections this year. Employee salaries are currently under negotiation. County clerk automation funds remain approximately the same. Super noted some computers may need replaced and will be paid for out of the automation fund. County recorder automation expenses decreased from $95,000 to $50,000 as Super is not anticipating any major projects. Transfer to the general fund is negotiable. Election grants is budgeted at $29,856 for IVRS grant revenue. This pays for the voter registration system and any computers that need replaced. In regards to increasing revenues, the GIS portion of the recording fees can be increased an additional $5. A fee study would need to be done in order to increase any other fees. Finance Manager Johnson presented the budget for the assessment office as follows. On the revenue side, property tax remain at $1.9 million and supervisor of assessment salary reimbursement will be received once the new supervisor of assessment has passed her exam. Department head salary for the assessment office is budgeted at $55,000 with an anticipated increase once the exam is passed. ICPHD Administrator Stacey presented the budget for EMA as follows. Department head salary reflects the new hire that has replaced Stacey and will work in EMA 3 days per week and public health preparedness 2 days per week. Gas and oil increased $500 and maintenance of autos increased $3,500. Service contracts for $7,000 is for the Hyper Reach contract. Stacey discussed the need for additional staff in the EMA department. He stated the workload in the department is growing and highly encourages the county board to look into allowing 2 full-time employees for EMA. Finance Manager Jill Johnson presented her budget as follows. Revenues include animal registration fees, animal public safety fines and fees, and transfers from the farm account, highway, and ICPHD. Expenses include wage increases of 8%. Systems expense decreased by $5,000. County board budget items remain the same with the exception of the auditor fee due to the single audits. Also, committee services and mileage and travel increased. General funds others includes group insurance, payout of the employee sick pay, and annual transfers. At this time, we are expecting a 10% group insurance increase. Maintenance administration building includes service contracts for mowing, part-time janitor, and half of the mechanic maintenance supervisor salary. Capital improvements includes heat pumps at $20,000 and parking lots at $30,000. Treasurer Kurt Albers presented his budget as follows. Revenue numbers are approximate at this time and Albers will have more accurate numbers next month. Expenses include salary increases for the staff in the treasurer's office. Postage is being increased by $5,000 due to 2 elections in 2024. Revolving loan fund budget will need to be updated due to the new loan being proposed with Watseka Ford. Albers has an upcoming treasurer's conference and will look into suggestions for new revenue sources. ETS Director Eric Raymond presented his budget as follows. Telecommunicators are still in negotiations. Riverside is under a 3-year contract. Transfer from public safety is budgeted at $157,500. Finance Manager Jill Johnson reviewed the Drug Free Communities Fund with the committee as follows. It's a 5-year grant that is 100% funded. Expenses include salary, mileage, and travel, service contract increases, and decrease to office expenses. Superintendent of Veteran Assistance presented her budget as follows. A salary increase has been requested, and Ingram plans to hire an employee next budget year. Johnson reviewed changes that were discussed throughout the meeting, and I will prepare a revised budget worksheet for the committee. Based upon the AFSCME and negotiations meeting that afternoon, Johnson will also update the salary information. There's no old business, there is no new business. As there is no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Alt and seconded by Bowers to adjourn at 11:21 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption. Okay, number 2. Your committee to whom was referred, Finance IT, would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 26, 2023 at 9 a.m. Members present were McTaggart, Behrens, Alt, Bowers, Geiger, and McGinnis. Scott Watts was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman Schur, Finance Manager Jill Johnson, Judge Kara Bartucci, Coroner Bill Cheatham, ICANN Regional Superintendent Frank Kunis, County Engineer Perkinson, Public Defender Cagle, Sheriff Brzee, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, she's missing the last name, County Board Member Tom Crow. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Geiger and seconded by Behrens to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Judge Bartucci presented the court's budget as follows. A 10% increase in requested for the chief deputy salary. Bailiffs haven't received an increase in over 5 years. A small increase of $110 per day from $100 per day is requested. Court services is budgeted at $12,000. Coroner Cheatham presented his budget as follows. No increases. Cheatham reported the pathologist in Champaign is leaving, and he'll be using the pathologist in Kankakee, which is a significantly higher rate. He'll keep an eye on this line item. Also, cremation permits increased from $50 to $100 as of July 1st. Cheatham plans to use the automation funds for the purchase of a cooler. Finance Manager Jill Johnson presented the budget for animal control as follows. Office supplies increased to $1,000 due to the price of tags increasing. Animal care increased because we are using outside services. Mileage and travel is increasing due to more travel required. Service contracts budget has been lowered. Utilities and budget maintenance has been decreased. Johnson reviewed the animal control salary and proposed an option to the committee of paying the warden an annual salary of $38,000 plus mileage. The warden will be responsible for 2 kennel duties per day. Projected work hours will be Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and will report to Johnson. Warden will supervise other animal control officers and maintain the animal control building. ICANN Regional Superintendent Penk Kunis presented the ICANN budget as follows. ICANN is requesting a transfer of $95,282, which is an increase from last year's transfer of $85,000. County Engineer Perkinson presented the highway budget as follows. Township engineering revenue increased from $190,000 to $250,000. Asphalt emulsion revenue increases from $70,000 to $95,000. Salaries will be adjusted based on the AFSCME contract. Office expense has been reduced by $6,000. Equipment rental increased from $2,000 to $25,000. Public Defender Cagle introduced himself to the committee and presented the Public Defender budget as follows. 5% salary increases were requested for Cagle and Assistant Public Defender Jamie Boyer. Sheriff Clint Brzee presented his budget as follows. Brzee reviewed the revenues with the committee. Salaries reflect 2 upcoming retirements and new hires. Maintenance of autos is budgeted at $70,400. Capital Improvements Fund includes parking lot improvements as discussed by Maintenance Supervisor Drake. Public Safety Tax Fund includes 3 vehicles, ballistic vests, new officer equipment and training, Central Square maintenance, and FWAT cameras. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines presented her budget as follows. Hines reviewed revenues with the committee. Transfers to the general funds are negotiable. Salaries are based upon the AFSCME contract. Remaining budgets to be presented are State's Attorney, U of I Co-op Extension, ICPHD, ETSB, IDA, and probation. These will be presented at the next finance meeting. Finance Chairman McTaggart contacted the Board of Health Chairman Dr. Zumwalt regarding the health department sharing costs for audit fees. Discussion was also held about potentially increasing public safety tax fees. There was no old business, there was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Behrens, seconded by Geiger to adjourn at 11:49 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption. One more. Your committee, to whom was referred Finance IT, would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on August 3rd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Members present were McTaggart, Behrens, Alt, Bowers, Geiger, and Watts. McGinnis was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman Scher, Finance Manager Johnson, Sheriff Brzee, State's Attorney Devine, County Clerk Suver, Treasurer Kurt Albers, ICPHD Administrator Stacy, ETS Director Raymond, Supervisor of Assessments McCammon, IDA Director Crawford, IDA President Bransky, Ginger Boas with the U of I Co-op Extension, County Board Member Mitchell Bentz, Myron Munyon with Compass Insurance, and Carl Gerdovich with the WGFA Radio. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Behrens and seconded by Bowers to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. Munyon with Compass Insurance reported insurance coverage for the county buildings. In regards to the Administrative Center, Munyon said he didn't see an advantage for changing the coverage from replacement to functional. The old courthouse museum is insured for $8 million on the building and $2.6 million for the contents at a cost of approximately $16,000 per year. Munyon informed the committee that papers and records are covered by the county's commercial policy, and the Old Courthouse Historical Society also has a policy for their items. As past president of the Historical Society, Mitchell Bentz spoke in regards to the number of visitors the Old Courthouse receives. During the months of June and July, visitors came from many different states as well as towns within Illinois. The Historical Society does their due diligence in continuing to take care of the Old Courthouse building. It was moved by Behrens and seconded by Geiger to get an insurance quote eliminating the contents value for the Old Courthouse and decreasing the coverage from $8 million to $4 million. Motion carried by a voice vote. There are no updates on group insurance rates. The department heads gave their monthly reports. They were as follows. Albers reported the Treasurer's Office is collecting property tax payments and a new employee had been hired. County Clerk Suver reminded the committee petition circulation will begin September 5th for the precinct committee person, county board, county officers such as circuit clerk, state's attorney, and coroner. Suver's chief deputy recorder is retiring as of September 5th. Deputy Clerk Sarah Keister has accepted the position and is currently in training. Shagbark Country Club has put in a request for the sale of liquor before noon on Sunday. The request will be on the county board agenda. Lastly, it was brought to Suver's attention that there will be 4 drainage districts that were inadvertently extended on the tax bills this year that should not have been. There were approximately 1,800 parcels that need corrected tax bills sent to them. DevNet will be preparing certificate of errors on these parcels and will send out the new tax bills. The drainage districts affected are Eastburn Drainage District Number 1 with 72 parcels, Eastburn Drainage District Number 3 with 29, Union Drainage District Number 2 with 9, and in Danforth and Ashland, and Mud Creek Special Assessment Drainage District with 1,682 parcels. DevNet provided a quote for $5,000 for the corrections to be paid from Suver's budget. Sheriff Brzee reported he looked at point-blank ballistic vests for patrol last week as an option. Wiring is run and equipment is installed in the telephone upgrade at the jail/sheriff's office. The body scanner is expected to be installed during the week of August 21st. Training on the new Central Square jail report writing system will begin August 14th and go live September 5th. They met with Motorola on July 13th and received a proposal for Starcom radios. They are also providing numbers for leasing options. Also looking at digital options on the sheriff's main channel and researching costs which may include ETSB assistance with equipment. CPC inmate phone tablet has been initiated in place of the Securus phone system. Working on getting a seat for the September 4th seat in the police academy to keep on track with retirements. And he's also readjusting items that are ordered for the jail prisoner expenses to save money. They switch fuel cards to one BP corporate card, which gives a percentage off per gallon. This can be used for any fuel purchases. Received a call from Jolly that the remaining vehicles ordered are now at the dealership. The committee should have a clear view of the budget within the next month and could possibly make a decision on the additional vehicles. ICPHD Administrator Stacy reported the state's fiscal year began July 1. ETS Director Eric Raymond reported the county suffered another internet outage last week due to a fiber cut. Raymond stressed the need to move forward with a backup internet source. Finance Manager Johnson provided an update on the audit, stating the annual financial report has been signed and sent. Continued discussion was held on the fiscal year 24 budget. State's Attorney Jim Devine presented his budget as follows. Publications has been reduced $500 and criminal prosecutions has been reduced to $7,000. Ginger Bowes with the U of I Co-op extension presented her budget as follows. She requested the amount of $111,300, which remains the same as last year. ICPHD Administrator Stacy presented the budget as follows. The Board of Health will be approving the budget at their meeting on Monday. Stacy noted a significant decrease in revenue due to grants that no longer exist. Stacy anticipates a levy request of $316,000. Also, a request has been made for the Health Department to contribute towards audit costs and administrative costs, and an amount had not been determined at this time by the county. ETS Director Eric Raymond presented his budget as follows. Raymond's salary would be discussed with the board under executive session, and the position for an assistant department head is still up for discussion. Office expense is budgeted for $15,000 to include text to 911, which is required due to the next generation 911. Purchase of equipment is budgeted at $300,000 for the purchase of a radio console system. Raymond also provided the committee with an ETSB capital improvement plan for the next several years. IDA Director Angel Crawford presented the IDA budget as follows. Crawford provided an information sheet with IDA's upcoming plans. IDA's fiscal year is June 1 through May 31st, and they'll be requesting a $25,000 transfer from the general fund. Further discussion was held regarding implementing a background check system. Brzee has initiated setting up an account with CHIRP. This service will provide background checks for employees and solicitors. There is paperwork to be completed and fees will be collected by the individual. Continued discussion was held on the starting wages for Iroquois County employees. Negotiations are still ongoing with AFSCME. Finance Manager Johnson sent out recommendations to the committee based on the requests given at the meeting. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Geiger and seconded by Bowers to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken and the motion carried. During the old business, County Board Chairman Schur stated the revolving loan fund committee has been reformed and consists of himself, Finance IT Chairman McTaggart, State's Attorney Jim Devine, IDA Director Crawford, Carrie Bell with First Trust and Savings Bank, Finance Manager Johnson, and Treasurer Kurt Albers. A loan for approximately $450,000 at an interest rate of 2.5% has been approved for Watseka Ford for 10 years. The loan will be brought before the county board for final approval. Watseka Ford anticipates hiring 16 new employees and constructing a new building. There was no new business. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Geiger and seconded by Bowers to adjourn at 10:41 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for its adoption.
Okay, do we have a second for the motion? Mr. Geiger. Do we have any questions or comments? Mr. Geiger.
Sorry to interrupt you, but on the very first meeting.
Yep.
The second page says Riverside is under a 3-year contract. I don't know if that's really there. That's for dispatch, right?
That's for, joint dispatch. John, you know that better than I do. It's 3 additional years from now, or?
Was that ever signed though?
Yeah.
When was that signed? Because I don't think the city ever signed theirs.
I think, if my memory is correct, I'd have to double check. I think it was back in January. January or February, somewhere in there. That includes this year and the next 2 years. What?
Will loans to Watseka Ford be paid back on a monthly basis? How will that go?
Yeah, we'll have some further discussion, that's a separate item. We can talk about it after we get through the.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
As soon as we get the reports approved, then we'll putting a motion to approve that loan, so we can discuss that. Are there any other questions or comments, Mr.
Sheriff? So the savings account with Church, will Julie be able to use that for like the new ordinance for solar?
Yes, all office holders will be able to use that.
I'm just with you.
Very good. Are there any other questions or comments for your reports? Moving down, the clerk will call the roll.
Sure.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Spence.
Yes.
Yes.
Bowers. Crow. Yes. Ducat.
Mr. Benson, you might want to reconsider your yes. I believe your wife is a bailiff and you're.
Oh.
Abstain.
Abstain. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, back to Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes, sorry.
And Awful.
I was just thinking, we're not actually approving that today, though. I mean, that was just proposed by the judges, but regardless, yeah.
Okay. Item number 4 under the Finance Committee is discussion and action on the revolving loan fund application and loan to Bell Holdings Waseca Ford in the amount of $450,000 and 2.5% interest for 10 years. Mr. Watts has already brought up a question about the repayment on it. It will be monthly payments. There is an amortization schedule as a part of the agreement. Also part of the agreement is that the money will be advanced as soon as the county board approves it. The payments the first payment will be due on February 1st. On January 1st will be a payment due of all the accrued interest from today's date until January 1st. Okay? That's the nuts and bolts of the agreement. If someone would like to make a motion to approve that loan in a second, then we can move forward with this question.
Make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Williams is approving, and Bob Waffle is second. And are there any other questions or comments on it? Mr. Bell is here with us this morning, and he can answer some questions.
Something to talk about, there's a gravel lot, there's a lot.
What's the question?
There's a gravel lot out there that's supposed to be turned into a cement lot, I believe. That doesn't have talked about.
That's, I guess, a city question on why or what they have to do with their ordinances. Like,
Was it supposed to be done and it never got done yet, or?
I don't know, we can ask Mr. Bell.
The question is, your lot out there, part was supposed to be done, cement, still some gravel.
We currently have a variance in place with the city for, I'm not sure when it expires, but we have a variance on the gravel lot that was in place. We added some extra, we didn't know that we couldn't add extra. We're currently planning on adding an additional building on the north side of that road, so tear that up and pave it, and then tear up the pavement, put up new buildings, seems silly. So we're hoping to be done with our addition at the end of October and start another building on the north side of the road. So that will remove the gravel.
Okay.
That answer.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Zumwalt.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Spence.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Crow. Yes. Ducat.
Yes.
Geiger.
Yes.
Hughes. McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful. And Sure.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, very good. We want to back up before we go to the highway department and the additional public safety committee. There was a number 2 that I overlooked. It's in your packet, the administrative lease agreement for place over the courthouse. Entertaining motion to approve that agreement. Mr. Williams, is there a second? Mr. Badger, are there any questions or comments on this agreement? This is something that Sarah has been working on for several months now, and I believe we finally have everything in place when the agreement was discussed.
I spoke with Jill, I think the numbers could be better on that. They increased it by $2,000, but it's not in line with the similar contracts that we have with the USDA, so I'd like to table that and come back to them.
So we're gonna have to revise it.
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
For more.
We need to table that.
I guess so.
I withdraw my motion.
Thank you. So, that being the case, we'll move on to the highway committee report. Mr. Ross.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee to whom was referred transportation highway begged delay to submit the following report in the matter before them. Your committee met at the Iroquois County Highway Building on August 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Members present were all Zumwalt Williams, Donna Crowe and Chad McGinnis were absent. Also present, County Engineer Greg Wilkinson, County Board Chairman John Scher. The meeting was called to order. There was no public comment. It was moved by Zumwalt and seconded by Williams to approve the agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. The claims and finance reports for the month were reviewed. It was moved by Williams and seconded by Zumwalt to pay the bills subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. County Highway, $52,835. County Bridge, $22,278. County Matching, $14,912. IBP, $43,836. County MFT, $1,323,976. Township MFT, $855,818. There was no new business. Last month, County Engineer Greg Perkinson provided the committee with an intergovernmental agreement between Iroquois County and Ford County Highway Departments regarding exchange of manpower and equipment. He requested the committee therefore read through the agreement before any action is taken. It is moved by Williams and seconded by Zumwalt to approve the intergovernmental agreement subject to county board's approval. Motion carried by a voice vote. There was no old business. There was no further business to become before the before the committee. It was moved by Zumwalt, seconded by Williams to adjourn at 8:56 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted, and I move for acceptance of this report.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for the transportation highway committee report. Do we have a second? Any questions or comments regarding the report? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Whitlow?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Spence?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Crowe?
Yes.
Ducat?
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes? McGinnis?
Yes.
McTaggart? Awful? Yes. Sure?
Yes.
And Watts?
Yes. Okay, on your agenda in front of you, we have a list of appointments for this month, so we have a motion for the appointment. Mr. Bowers, second by Mr. Williams. Any questions or comments regarding the appointments? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, and motion is approved. Next, the appointments. We have a motion to approve. Draw. We have a second, Mr. Williams. We have one additional claim covering the error that was made on the tax bill. Bill from that amount to the amount of $5,000. I'm not sure if we listed for that already received, but I'm going to take it. Any other questions or comments on the claim? Call the roll, please.
Williams?
Yes.
Zumwalt?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Spence?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Crowe? Yes. Ducat?
Yes.
Geiger?
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful. Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
Watts.
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Is there any old business on the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approach the board and maybe explain a few things about the scope of this Branch Street project.
I think that would be better than at the next highway committee meeting, because we've already agreed to send it back.
I just feel that the public opinion may be going the other way, and folks may not fully understand.
Let us see what the management committee decides next month, we'll get into it. Any other old business to come before the board? Any new business?
I do want to make a couple notes on the meeting schedule. The management committee is going to be meeting on September 6th, which is a Wednesday at 1 p.m. And ARPA is rescheduled for September 5th at 10 a.m. Those were changed due to the Labor Day holiday and were not included on part of your meeting schedule.
Is finance forevermore 9:30?
Yes, correct. Until you say, I don't like this. It's 10 a.m. on Tuesday, September 5th.
Okay. We got everything taken care of. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.